Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Base Show, another episode on the human experience, and we are here with a very beautiful and handsome guest. Let's use the two words because if you look at him, you see beauty. If you look at the left side, you see handsomeness. All right. So as usual, I'm your host for the show. My name is Bright George, and I'm not here alone. I'm with my beautiful co-host.
Hello guys, I'm Glory John. Welcome to the B Show. I hope you have an exciting moment after the show.
Of course, you will have an exciting moment. But before we introduce our guest, G, how was Valentine? It was wonderful. That is not that. I don't take that for an answer, please. You have to give us one or two details.
I had a nice time.
Okay, where did you go? Did you go bowling, painting? Which one?
I went to have my favorite snack,
Which is?
shawarma.
That was what you did on bar.
Yes.
And what was the drink you had?
Let me not expose that.
Oh, really? Okay, I think we'll leave that for that. Let's not stress out too much. All right, so let's go in and introduce our handsome guest with us today. Over to Edikan, please say hello to everyone here.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, that is my guy. After now, me and him get some backyard business to do. All right, so Edikan, how do you feel to be with us today?
I'm good. Feeling great to be here.
Of course, as it should be. So, take us through your journey, as a child, how you grew up. How was the journey like? And I feel the training you had will be different from the training we, the female, had. Because in the African side, we'll hear a man needs to be a man and a woman needs to be a woman. So, if I was pampered as a female child, I don't think you were pampered as a male child. Yes. So just let us know how the journey be and how was it, growing up, your parents, what role did they play and how did that groom you to be a good, gentle young man that you are today?
Okay, I come from a very rigid, orthodox foundation. In a family where we have people who hold discipline and very high standards, and they have set standards that everybody is supposed to follow.
Sorry to cut you. Was your parents pastor, reverend, deacon?
No.
Because you said orthodox. That's why.
Yeah, but it's something conventional. But then the kind of family that trains their children, almost all of them becomes introverts because you don't really talk to people. Then even if you go to church, you don't talk to people, just from church back to the house and all of that.
Then from school too.
I stayed in the hostel all through 6 years in secondary school, and then have that.
At least your primary school, you had you were going from house. How was it?
Yeah, it was a wonderful experience, but then there were a lot of standards that one of the things is that you can't fail your exams.
I think it was popular in all.
Because if you do, you have yourself to blame, and all of those things, making sure that just very high standards that you have to be the man, you have to do this, you have to do that. There are certain relationships now telling you the things that you're supposed not to do, the things that you should do. Explain details. If you do this is what you're going to end up, and then I really think that okay, our parents were telling us okay, you have to grow up to be engineers, to be doctors, to be lawyers. And all of
I
those
think
things.
so.
So it was just a very beautiful.
So which did you pick as at that time? Did you pick engineer, doctor?
That time I had a lot of things in mind. I had two things in mind.
Only you.
One of them was to be automobile engineer or aeronautical engineer. So growing up, I know that aeronautical engineering at that time wasn't visited in Nigeria. But then those were childhood fantasies.
Yeah.
Growing up, you have to go into the realities of life, and then you have to start knowing how to maneuver your life and all of those things. But then we have very beautiful fantasies growing up. I wanted to be an engineer. There was a time in secondary school that I even wrote engineer before my name.
Make I that for you.
So none of those things. But then you have to grow into reality.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have sisters?
Yes, I have sisters.
How was the training like? I want you to explain it because I'm very sure, I'm 100% that what they had you did not have while growing up as a male child. Like I said, I started by saying that there's this male kind of training parents do give. You understand?
Totally have to
Yeah.
confirm.
Oh, yeah. There's this thing that they say, men don't cry. You try to pocket your feelings and all of that. Did you experience that while growing up as a child?
I think then growing up, it was maybe a normal thing in almost all the homes that because as men, you were trained in such a way that you could take from your father if something happens, like you can always be in the gap.
Yeah.
So you have to go
Yeah.
through the rigid training. You have to go through the like you just have to grow up to being a man, even taking responsibilities.
Yeah.
So to say, you have to grow into taking so many responsibilities as at that time. When your kids, sisters, or anybody or your sisters are having fun, you are here taking responsibilities and doing the most that you can. So it was
Yeah.
a beautiful experience.
Okay, so how has that helped you now to be? Do you like the man that you've grown into with that training? Because like you said, you were more of introverted kind of person while growing up, from church back to the house and then from school back to the house too. So how is the experience now that you're big enough to make your own decisions? Does it affect you in any way, or you're comfortable in what you grew into?
It has the ups and downs then, but then one of the downsides is that I don't really make friends.
Okay.
So to say, so because I've not been used to an environment of talking to a lot of people and all of
Yeah,
those things.
that's
So I
true.
have very few friends and a lot of, though I know people, but I have very few friends. On the other hand, it has helped me to be able to sort myself out, take responsibility for the things I'm supposed to do,
Okay.
and take responsibility for others also. So
Okay.
it groomed me to have a strong mind, to be able to have a mind on my own, take decisions, and also take responsibilities for my actions at every given time. So it was a good experience.
Okay, so let me ask you now, because I was waiting for a time I will have a man on my podcast, I'll be vodcast, because this question has been on my mind, guys, and I've been wondering, who am I going to give this question to? God brought engineer. He can feel like that. All right, so please let me ask you: are men really polygamous in nature?
A lot of factors come into that. When one of them is background,
Okay.
one of them is, let's say, societal influence, community, and all of those things. There are certain areas that you grow up in, and it grooms you to the notion that men are polygamous in nature. And backgrounds, maybe some people who came from a family who their father had more than one wife, and all of those things, it becomes a natural thing.
Yeah.
And maybe in the environments that you are in, these things happen, it becomes a natural thing, and all of those things. So I think sometimes it depends on the background you're growing up and all of those things. Men really are not polygamous in nature, but the African system makes it so, because we grew up to hear stories of our forefathers, grandparents, and all of those people. They were comfortable getting married to 3, 4, 5 wives, and everybody were at peace and all of that. So I think that men are not really polygamous in nature. It goes down to the foundations, the basics, the environment, the community you grow up in, and ideally what you think it is.
Do you think it's a mindset? Because men are trying to force us to believe that they are polygamous in nature.
That's why I say a lot of things, psychological, and a lot of things plays into this. Men sometimes are logical and women are emotional.
Of course.
So in logic, most men don't have problems with that, as far as they can take care of the situation and handle all of that. They don't have a problem. And also I think that apart from the fact that Christianity prohibits it,
okay,
the African culture allows it, but then it goes down to a lot of factors. Growing up, community and all of those things, and even the people that you hang around with and all of those things, it has a lot of factors. So sometimes you just have to make every man has to make a decision for himself. I want to be polygamous, I don't want to be polygamous, I want to get married to one wife, I want to marry a lot of wives. It's a personal decision actually. So sometimes people tend to use it to judge everybody by it, but I think being polygamous is a personal decision which can be influenced by very many factors.
Okay.
As I've mentioned earlier.
Okay. So, you now, are you going to be polygamous in nature when you get married? Because now you are not yet married. So, are you seeing you yourself, going into that? What I mean is this: it's not just about getting married to one wife. Going out of it. You understand? Frustrating someone else. Because it's not just, okay, I don't have 2 wives in my house, so that means I'm not polygamous in nature. No.
Can
You know,
still go out.
you can still go out. When you go out now, you understand, and then you try to, complicate things for yourself. Because believe it or not, I feel is you complicating your life. You understand? So, are you seeing yourself going towards that way? I know you are going to say no. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I don't like stress.
Okay.
I don't like stress. I don't have anything that puts a lot of pressure on me and all of those things. Though it's normal that life puts pressure on us, but then I don't see myself becoming polygamous. I don't see it. I don't have that in the picture. And I don't see myself being polygamous.
Okay, so how do we solve this issue of violence going on into the society? A whole lot of marriage crisis. He's beating me. I'm emotionally abused. I'm not, and all of that. How do we target this particular issue today in the society? Because it's very rampant. It's very rampant.
And just to encourage people to provide safe spaces for people to talk about it, because a lot of people are not afraid of talking about the abusers or coming
Okay.
out to talk about people abusing them. It's actually how you make them feel after talking about it. That's the
Okay.
main thing. It's just like correcting someone. A lot of people don't have problems with you correcting them, but they have problems with how you make them feel. It's all about emotions. So we just have to keep on creating safe spaces for people to be able to talk about how they feel, what's happening to them, and not judging them.
Okay.
And then making sure that, but then, in as much as we are going to create these safe spaces and for people to be able to comfortably talk about the things that they are going through, I think for every action, there are always red flags, but then people just choose to ignore it.
I was saying last time, what if, this person was pretending while we were together, you understand? And then going into, this whole marriage thing, and you just switched up all of a sudden. Do you understand? How do you, say that, coming from a man's perspective, you understand? Why are men violent in nature? I know women too. There are so many men that are going through emotional and even physical abuse, but you cannot compare that to the strength of a man. You understand? And it's more rampant more in the men cases. Why are men, these violent, and what do you think women should do to avoid this kind of predicaments reaching to them?
When you say the power of a man, I think women are stronger than men.
No, physically.
No, they see.
Physically,
a lot of things are emotional things.
Okay.
Women have more power than men, so some of them don't just know how to use it. So, as I said earlier, there are always signs, there are always red flags, we just choose to ignore them. These are very complicated issues. Anybody that raises his voice or shouts at you in public has a tendency of beating you inside.
Okay.
That's just it. So sometimes I wonder how people actually get to that point. But then we just have to keep creating the safe space for people to talk about it. So if more people talk about it, and the abusers and the perpetrators of this domestic violence knows that there are no hiding places for them, I think they are going to adjust, because we set up systems that are actually going to penalize people who are going into all of these things. But then when you see those signs, you don't have to ignore them. You have to talk to people. You have to let people know what you're going through, because if you don't, nobody's going to be able to help you. And then people don't really change.
Okay.
People just adjust and make accommodation for you to come in. People don't change. Even children don't change. You will see a child exhibiting a particular kind of character, and he or she will take it up till when it's old. And so people don't really change. People just adjust, try to manage these things. So but then I know that there are people who are abusers right from time.
Yes.
So they have now created patterns. There are actually some differences between people who have flaws. Maybe they have temperament issues and all of those things. And then there are people who are chronic abusers who have had the history of abusing people. But the patterns are always there. The signs are always there. Somebody should not even threaten you that I'm going to, when people are playing with you, okay, I'm going to beat you, and when people actually mean that they're going to beat you,
there are two different things.
So when you see these things,
you
have to caution yourself, talk to people, and then pull out, because though I know that a lot of people find it very difficult to pull out at that point.
I was about coming to that.
But then you just have to look at the signs and then know when to pull out of it.
Okay. All right. So, do you think that our background really had something to do with this violence that we are facing today in the society, like how a child was trained or something?
Yes, it has. It has a lot of things. The background, the environment you grew up in, and all of those things. When your your environment determines, like, let's say, more than 60% of how your life is going to turn out to be.
Yeah.
So the environment anybody grows in, there are women who grew up in an environment where ladies fight,
Okay.
where
Yes.
women stand head to head with men.
Yes.
So they have grown up in that environment, and in fact, it has become part of them. It has become part of their DNA. So they feel that that's how life
It
is
should
supposed
be.
to be. That's how it
Yeah.
should be.
Yeah.
So even when you try to tell them, no, that's not. No, that's how it's supposed to be. So the environment, the training. There are people who grew up in a particular house, in a family that the father beats the mother,
Yes.
and the mother stays, and it becomes a
Yes.
normal thing.
Yes.
Even when they grow up with that mentality, and then they start beating women, and the women tries to leave, they were like, no, now, because he has witnessed the father beating the mother, and the mother still stays throughout the marriage.
Yeah.
Even as he's old now, if the parents are still alive, those kind of things still happen. So you wanting to leave or complaining looks like, what are you even saying? So, and all of those things, that this is a normal thing. So the background, the community you grow in, when you grow up in a community that everybody's fighting, like chaos and all of those things, yes, you are prone to exhibit those characters, even unknowingly.
Yes.
Some people, so
The
just
background
yeah,
too.
the background plays like a vital role. The community you grow up in and all of that plays vital role in how you turn out to be.
So what's that red flag you look out for in a woman?
Red flags.
Mm.
In as much as you want to do anything, I feel that if you're not able to be honest with me, then what's the point? Because every other thing is built on it.
Okay.
Every
So
other
honesty.
thing, yes, every other thing is built on it. And being honest with somebody is that, okay, B called me and asked me to come on his show. I am going to an exquisite place and all of this. Say, okay, this is the expected time I'm supposed to come back. Or I am going to this place. This is what I intend to do.
Okay.
Like,
that's communication.
That's communication.
And then honesty.
And then when you're communicating, you are also being honest about it. So that if something happens and somebody wants to verify, it's easier for somebody to, because every other thing is built on it. If you're not honest about lifting this frame, then you might not be honest about every other thing. So honesty, it revolves all around that.
Honesty plays a huge part. Yeah. All right. So this thing that they used to say, do partners need to go through each other's phone? Please throw more light on it. Do you agree with that?
I think it's about perception, and then everything. Though some partners don't find any problem with it, and some do have problems with it. But then going through your partner's phone is not a problem.
Okay.
Yes, going through your partner's phone is not a problem if you both agree that that's what people want to do. But then on the other flip side, a lot of things don't appear the way they look.
Okay.
Yes. So sometimes if you are comfortable, and going through your partner's phone means that you have a mature mind and you
are ready to take whatever you see.
Like, you have a mature mind and then you can absorb, because checking your partner's phone is something that if you want to do it, don't draw conclusions to it until you talk to the person about the entire thing.
I think that is where honesty comes to play.
Yes.
Because if I can go through your phone and I see something, I come to ask you, it's obvious that this is white. You just come and tell me it's black. That is where lies come in, you understand? So I feel that's where honesty, kind of comes to play. That's correct. Are you dating? Because, like, I want to know that. No.
I'm not dating.
You're not dating. How was your vow, Ejika?
My vow?
That was on Friday. How did you spend your vow?
I didn't do anything. I was at home a greater part of the day.
Okay.
And I had TV program.
Okay.
And from there I went to Cafe One with a friend.
A
guy. We played snooker for a while. And then Cafe One actually had an event, so I just had to, since I've been meaning to go there and I've not had the time to go, so I just stepped in and then played snooker and then just met some old friends and then hung out with some guys and then went back.
So you're not dating like this? Women, come and see.
You have to force him.
I'm not forcing him. I'm not forcing him. But I mean, this guy, like I said, I introduced him by saying he's beautiful and handsome. We have a beautiful and handsome man, seated here. So please, just engineer Dick and buy All right, so let's go into 2 minutes with B. We have a little game to play with you, and then you just give me your honest answer. Just 5 seconds to answer them. Okay. Are you ready? Okay, so let's start. What's that thing you do first thing you get back from work?
5, 4, 3.
Get back from work. Oh my gosh, press my.
You don't lie down to sleep, Abby. You don't remove shoe. Okay, you sleep like that with your shoe.
No, I can't sleep with my shoe.
Okay, you remove shoe first. I've gotten 1 point from you. I think I answered the most part of it. All right, so you have like 5 seconds to give me 10 words that ends with TION.
5,
Communication.
4, 3.
Okay.
2.
I think you were too fast, guy. Calm down now.
I'm slow.
Why are you Why you doing like that?
I'll take it.
Calm down, please. All right, let's go. One more question. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, you have again 5 seconds to give me 10 words that ends with ALLY.
Eh?
ALLY. I won't give you an instance. Okay, we have conditionally. Let's start from there. All right, give him time.
5, 4, 3.
Hey! Hey, God, you don't mean it. I've gotten all the points from a deacon. I'm trying with your phone. He's not going anywhere. All right, so tell us about a deacon. Who is a deacon? What do you do? And let's get it from there.
Okay, I am a Deacon David from Ibiani, from local government area, raised a little bit in Ibiani and then staying here almost all the time. And I am into digital marketing, major in social media strategy and branding and all of that. So that's what I've been doing. Why I went into that was trying to bridge the gap. I've been in situations where small businesses struggle. So one of the reasons why was to build a platform where small businesses can compete favorably on the digital space without having to spend so much money.
Okay.
Like having also to play in the level playing ground with big brands who have the money to spend but they don't have. And that's what social media has been able to make possible. And so that's the industry we have been.
Do you think you can be with someone that also does the same work with you?
Marriage actually should be purposeful. So if I'm getting married to someone, it's someone that we can both leverage on each other.
Okay.
And get things done. It was then that people just marry because they want to marry. I think that now it is the purpose that keeps you people together that makes a lot of growth. So I can marry someone who is in my same industry if it's something that we can actually leverage each other's strength to.
Okay, so that means you have to find your purpose first before going into marriage. Is that what you said?
Yes, because if you don't know where you're going to, you can't let someone else.
I think it's a two-way thing.
Yes.
The man has to know where he's going to, and the lady too has to know where.
Yes, because so
she's
that
going
you can now know, okay, what are we all bringing? Because see, marriage is leave the facade and leave the jamboree and at the end of the day, people have to sort yourself out. So
yeah,
what is keeping you guys together in this marriage?
Yeah.
Some people, what keeps them in the marriage is that they are doing collaboration, so they're like business partners.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Some people, like the man or the woman, they just want children. So the only thing that's keeping them in that marriage is for them to have children.
Okay.
So it's a lot of things keep a lot of people in marriage. So you just have to know
your own.
Where are you going?
Which one they keep you?
Who can help me get there? Who can we work together to get there?
Okay.
If this person that I'm in a relationship with or I want to get married to or I'm married to, what can we do together? Because when people do these things together, I think the bond becomes stronger because when you want to become stupid, you know that there's something at stake. You actually know that there's something at stake, and then you have
to put yourself together. Yes, I think where there is purpose, it helps people to, calm down again. But I mean, yes, if
you have a direction.
Yes, and then you will now see that this my partner is counting on me for a particular thing, and I have to behave myself. I don't have to go and disgrace my ancestors. I think he was correct when he said that. So we have come to the end of this show. But before you go, throw one or two advice to the men, most especially. What do you think men should know in today's society, and how do they adjust to it? Okay, I think everything boils down to this man and woman thing. You understand? So how should men, manage the situation? If you are going into a relationship, this is what you should go into, and this is what you should do. And then, if you are not, capable, or if you're not man enough to face this thing, don't do it.
When a man knows the kind of man he wants to grow up to be,
Okay.
it will help him to choose a partner.
Okay.
If you don't, you can marry anybody, and you will see when people grow up after a while, this is not the kind of woman I was supposed to marry.
Yes, that's true.
And also for the guys, I want to say that direction is better than speed.
Okay.
When you know where you are going to, you don't have to run very fast, because you now know the things that you need to do to get there.
Step by step.
I want to carry that table, or I want to carry anything. I want to carry this water. I don't have to run around circles. I know that this is the water I want to carry. So I now develop strategies on how to get to this water and carry it. So when you have direction, it is better than you having speed.
Okay.
And then most men beat themselves up because of how men are being judged. Men are being judged by what they have become.
Okay.
For instance, men are being judged by this in result, not the hard work that you put in.
That's very
about that. Now, for instance, if people meet each other maybe after 5, 10, 15 years, they will first ask the lady, "Are you married?" And they'll ask the man, "What kind of job are you doing?" So that's why you see, another thing is that the process of growth sometimes is not very visible, because when they ask you, "Are you married?" or "What kind of job are you doing now?" men beat themselves up most of the times, because you can be working 5, 10, 15 years and nothing is showing. But then you don't know that consistency in a particular direction over the years is what actually matters. You don't know. Sometimes we'll have successes that looks like overnight success, like something just happened.
Yeah.
But then for a moment, you don't know that it has been consistent contribution for 15 years. It has been 15 years of consistency. These are life realities that people have seen. So this thing for the guys, don't beat up yourself when the results are not forthcoming. Just be consistent. Keep doing the things that you do. Find purpose. Sometimes we try to fast forward the things that we are doing, but then there is beauty in the process, because that's when you can actually tell someone, okay, this is what I did. And there are a lot of people who have overnight successes, but they don't understand the process that got them there. Miracles happen, no doubt about that. But then, even before the miracle happened, miracle don't just happen. When you have worked hard, God will place it in the heart of somebody to discover you. So, and then all of that. So just find purpose. And purpose too is that we try to force ourselves into the purpose that was not ordained for us to do. And sometimes becomes really difficult for us to navigate.
Yeah.
Every life, there is a purpose for that life. Because that's why the Bible says, before you were created, I knew you. So there was a purpose for you. So there was a predestination for what God actually wanted you to do. Some people find their purpose in their 50s, in their 70s.
Yeah.
And that's when their life becomes beautiful. They now feel happy doing the things that they are doing. So just find your purpose. Understand that you need direction and not even speed. When you have direction, you don't even need speed, because you will now know how to get to where you're going.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. I was looking forward to have a deacon on my podcast or being a podcast anyone, because I know that I'm bringing intelligence. I'm bringing a genius. I'm bringing a business guru. I'm bringing everything all in one person. Like he has said, you just need to trust the process. You need to have a process before you get to speed. You don't have to jump and go and reach speed. I don't think it happens. Before you start your car, you put it in gear 1 before you get to the final stage. So you have to find your purpose and be very rest assured that is your purpose. If not, you find it difficult. He has said everything. I don't have much to say. Thank you so much for joining us for this this particular episode. I hope you learned so much from it. As you all know, my name is still Bright Judge. I am the host for the show, and yeah, my guest and my co-host is here. Sorry,
Hello, everyone.
we
I'm
are
sure
signing
you
out.
had